And were there certain stages you went through before you'd have a fight?
Like MMA or jiu-jitsu or both?
Well, I guess MMA.
I mean, MMA, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit different. Jiu-jitsu, you can pretty much just sign up and you know the date, and then there's a bunch of people in the division.
But emotionally, did you have any kind of...
I mean, I think it's a process, right? Like the levels, there's levels, right? There's different belt rankings and there's levels of competition as well. And so I think it was a process, you know, that you just, you know, back in those days in the 90s, they didn't even have real jiu-jitsu tournaments yet.
Really?
You know, because I'm from New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And so I would have to go to Colorado, and there was like divisions, like karate tournaments.
Oh, that's so interesting. You know, what I noticed, like, if I got booked on a TV show, I'd be excited, and then I'd be getting closer. And at one point, whether I'd woke up in the middle of the night or that morning, or I would have just sheer terror and going, what am I doing? I'm going to bomb. This is going to be terrible, whatever. Yeah. And then subsequently, I just learned that was just one of the phases. At some point, I was going to have that feeling of terror, and then it was going to go away, and then I was going to be fine. But it was just one of these things, and every time it would happen, I go, okay, this is the terror part.
For sure, I think you know, you get better at dealing with it, and then you find the solutions, right? Like you want to be nervous to perform.
Yes.
But you don't want to be nervous too early, right? It tires you out, and then you don't perform at your best. So you figure out, like, okay, I'm not going to think about it until it's right before the match or whatever. Right?
Yes, I remember
for
years
jiu-jitsu
ago,
or fighting.
Absolutely, I remember reading a book about bullfighting years ago, and they said it's good to be a little bit nervous. If you're not nervous, it's bad. And if you're terrified, that's also bad.
Yeah,
so it's kind of that sweet spot.
Yeah, exactly. So you find that sweet spot.
Yes.
Of being nervous but not too nervous.
And also, don't you feel like your experience helps you with that stuff too over the years?
Yeah, for sure. You know, like not knowing how much is too nervous, how much is what's good and what's bad, right?
Yes, you want those little butterflies, but not. But I remember, you know, when I was 25, I auditioned for David Letterman, and the producer came over and was very complimentary. And then they called me to do the show 17 years later.
Wow.
I didn't even know
17 years later.
I didn't even know I was still in the running. I'm at Conan. They call me. I answer the phone. They go, this is a weird question. Can you do the show today? And it's like 1 PM. And I go, yeah, okay. So they said, okay. What happened was Dave got sick. So Bruce Willis was supposed to be the first guest. So they needed a host. So Bruce Willis became the host. So they needed an extra guest. So I don't know how many people they called before me, but I just put my suit on and walked over there and did it. But I kind of didn't have too much time to be nervous. It was kind of like, hey, get out there.
Sometimes it's the best things, right?
Absolutely. I didn't have time to dwell on it.
Think about it too much.
Had a good night's sleep because I didn't know and all that, you know. But I do think at 25 I really wasn't ready. That would have been too much for me. Yeah. And at 42, it was like, okay, I had enough experience then to kind of relax and be able to do it, you know?
Yeah.